All right, let's get to a little fill in the blank here. Let's get producer Brandon Combs back in the mix. Combsy, little March Madness fill in the blank. What do you got for us?
Yeah, let's start with this one last night. Tough one for BYU and AJ Dybantsa, especially with the great game that he had. AJ Dybantsa solidified himself as the blank overall pick in the NBA draft.
Number one. Number one for me. I don't think Darren Peterson should be going number one. We've been saying it for weeks. I think Darren Peterson is better than Cam Boozer. I think he's better than Caleb Wilson. I think he's a better NBA prospect than anybody else in college basketball. The fact that for the last several weeks, without BYU's second best player, Richie Saunders, done for the year, AJ Dybantsa was still able to score 30 points or more multiple times with teams double teaming him, blitzing him. It speaks to his NBA-ready game, the mid-range jumper, his ability to hit the three, the ability to get to the bucket. He's got the size, he's got the frame, he's got the tools, he's got the bag. He's got to be the number one overall pick. He's a gamer. He's a warrior, played every minute of a couple of different games this season. If I get the number one pick, I'm going AJ Dybantsa, and I ain't thinking twice about it.
And I am in complete agreement with you. AJ Dybantsa has to be the number one overall pick. There are no weaknesses to his game at all. He can rebound. He can dish. He can splishy and splash him outside, and we're shooting 41% on the season. Again, he's got all the tools imaginable, and he has the leadership skills as well. He's a cool cat, explosive off the bounce. He alleviates all doubt whatsoever, which some other individuals, I'm looking at you, Darren Peterson, certainly does not. So AJ Dybantsa has to be the number one overall NBA pick in the draft this upcoming summer.
Yeah, I agree that he right now he's the number one pick. Let me ask you guys a follow-up question, though. Since he's out, and if Arkansas goes on a run, let's say they go to the Elite Eight or even the Final Four, and Acuff has himself a tournament, can Acuff find himself in that spot over Dybantsa because of the length that he's in this tournament?
No, I don't think it will. I mean, there could be an argument there. And obviously, it's all about sample size and whatnot. But they're going to look at the full body of work. They're going to look at the regular season. They're going to look at what an individual player does in terms of the measurements, what they bring to the table, and the overall skill set. You would be passing up on potentially a future Hall of Fame talent. That's how elite AJ Dybantsa is. And this is no knock on Darius Acuff. I just think Dybantsa is far and away the best prospect in this NBA draft class. Cuff would be one hell of a consolation prize at pick number 3 or number 4 overall. Maybe Cam Boozer there at number 2. But no, he is not going to usurp. He is not going to jump. Dybantsa just goes he goes a little bit deeper in this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I'll give you another reason, Combs. And look, I hate it because if I was 6'3", I probably would have went to and played Division I baseball because I probably would have thrown 86, 87. But I wasn't. I'm 5'11", and so I only threw 80 poo. Darius Acuff is 6'3". AJ Dybantsa is 6'9". There you go. That's it. The measurables. I'm telling you, it comes as simple as that. He's 6 inches taller, and he can shoot the ball just about as well as Acuff. He might not be able to handle it as well. He might not be the true point guard that Darius Acuff is, but he's nearly 6'9", and he can shoot like that. That's it. That's game over.
Noted. All right, let's go to this one. The biggest upset of Saturday will be blank.
Biggest upset of Saturday. Let me just run through these games here. I guess in terms of the seeding, it would be a big upset. I will go with Texas over Gonzaga. Gonzaga 6.5-point favorites, but again, very underwhelming against Kennesaw State. Outside of Graham Ike, I don't trust their offense. And like Brad mentioned before, Voki Titus from the Longhorns is 7'1". I mean, he looks like he's 7'6" when he's on the floor. Yep. If he stays out of foul trouble, and I think he is going to maybe not neutralize Graham Ike, but he's going to do a good job on him. You take Graham Ike out of the equation for at least a couple of stretches of this game, I think that's all the difference right there. I think the Longhorns have better guards than Gonzaga, and so Texas over Gonzaga, 11 over a 3 seed for me, the biggest upset tomorrow.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick. I'm going to throw on another one just for S's and G's. How about Texas A&M over Houston? Look, the Aggies can absolutely shoot lights out from outside. I thought St. Mary's was going to be able to neutralize some of that action. They did not. Houston, we know, can experience some of these epic offensive droughts. They are an elite defensive team, no stretch about it. But Texas A&M does have adequate ball handlers to break that pressure, not commit miscues and mistakes. They break the pressure consistently, knock down triples. They got more than a puncher's chance of knocking off the 2 seed. So give me the Aggies. Gig 'em. And that being the Cougars in the round of 32. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we all know what I think, and it is VCU over Illinois.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Oh, God. No.
He's using your Ram It song against
Brad.
you.
This is why
VCU to the Sweet 16, baby.
How nervous are you? Scale of 1 to 10, Brad.
With 10 being the highest, I would say this. Probably about a 6.5. The reason being, and I'll be very brief with this, VCU has quick guards. Where is Illinois most vulnerable? What is Achilles' heel? It's quick guards. Beating their bigs off the bounce, kiss off the glass, getting easy baskets. That is an area that will haunt me tonight in my dreams. I just pray Illinois can neutralize them. And David Mirkovic, who had a 17-rebound game, just absolutely owns on the interior like he did in the opening round action against Penn.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Damn it. Oh, no.
All right. The must-watch second-round game is blank. Brad?
I'm going to go for funsies here, guys. I think it's Michigan and St. Louis. I saw the total. It opened at 161.5 on BetMGM. I think it's way too low. I think Michigan could honestly flirt with 100 points again. I think St. Louis could score at least 85. You like fast pace. You like optional defense. You like a lot of just prime scoring. That is going to be the game for you. All about spreading the floor out, both these offenses, all about high-level execution. I would love to see the Billikens push Michigan to the limit, and I think they can certainly do that. So give me Michigan, St. Louis, and maybe the first 100 to 105 wins. That's certainly on the table. I think that game is going to be highly entertaining.
I'm going to go with Kentucky, Iowa State because of the Joshua Jefferson injury and the question marks around his availability. If he does not play, Kentucky is a live dog in that game for sure. And you got a blue blood brand. You got Mark Pope and the Wildcats after their stunning come-from-behind win today with the Otega Oweh buzzer beater. Everybody's going to be excited to see if he can put on a second act against that Iowa State defense. I think that would be a great game. With two teams that are super athletic, super bouncy, and both play some pretty good defense. You should see some good shot making, but again, it's the Joshua Jefferson question mark that makes this much more of a 50-50 game, and so I'd be excited to see if Kentucky can blow up some people's brackets.
Yeah, I think both of the games that involve the number ones, I think Michigan and St. Louis, and then Duke and TCU are both going to be phenomenal games, but the one I'm most excited to watch is High Point in Arkansas. I want to see if High Point can continue this. I think that they believe. I think that their head coach believes. I picked Arkansas on my bracket, but I'm telling you right now, if my bracket has to get blown up to see High Point move to the Sweet 16 and to hear another one of these post-game press conferences from their head coach, I'm all for it. Let's get it done. Last one. The surprise entry of the Sweet 16 will be blank. Pat?
Yeah, look, I like High Point. I don't want to completely just piggyback off of your what you just said, though. I do think Texas beats Gonzaga, so I'll go with one more here. I guess they wouldn't be the surprise, but I think a surprise would be Tennessee beating. Wow, I'm looking at that line's already out, Brad. Tennessee is favored over Virginia, so I guess maybe it wouldn't be all that big of a surprise. But in terms of the seeding, a 6 over a 3, a minor one. Again, I would love to see High Point. I would love to see Texas. I'll go with another one, though. Tennessee over Virginia. I've just been a doubter of the Cavaliers all year. They proved me wrong getting to the ACC tournament title game, nearly beat Duke, but I think this team's got such a low ceiling offensively and I think Tennessee will be able to match them blow for blow. So I'll go with the Volunteers.
That's exactly what I was going to go with. Is Tennessee, because everybody's like, you have to fade Rick Barnes in the NCAA tournament. They went out today. They took care of business against Miami, Ohio, the Cinderella darling, and a wonderful story. I think they're going to go out there and wax that ass of Virginia, because Tennessee's best second chance team in the NCAA tournament. Jacob Gillespie is playing better in that backcourt. Ament is an absolute load. They got dudes. And I think they're going to own the interior against the Cavs. They take them down, bounce them, march on the Sweet 16. I can tell you this. I don't think a lot of people, not remotely the majority of people who filled out brackets, had the Volunteers tasting sweetness this year.
Yeah, there's one team that you guys completely looked over.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Damn it! With the ram it!
VCU to the Sweet 16, baby. Let's go.
It's going to be the beginning of the end of Combs' reign over our brackets here. Once VCU gets blown out and he starts losing all of his other picks in his brackets and he's going to start crying, I can't wait. I will be there. I will be there for it.